Hey Pisces, welcome to December 2020. Let's see how this year wants to wrap itself up for you. Got it. I want to clarify. Which one? Let's see, we got the Two of Cups in reverse, Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Interesting. A lot. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to pull for my Prism Tarot. So we got Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse, Nine of Cups in reverse, Ten of Cups, Knight of Swords in reverse, Six of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Lightning, Competition, and then from this Prism Tarot deck we have... Okay, I'll just show them all to you. Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. Pisces, let's do it. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Ten of Cups upright. Nine of Cups in reverse. Two of Cups in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles in upright. Empress, receive. Ten of Clouds, endings. Five of Lightning, competition. Five of Gems, need. Look, I don't really like to read the tarot cards this way. I don't really like to do love readings. I definitely don't like to use the cards to predict anything negative per se, because, I think it's really important when you're listening to tarot readings to take them with a grain of salt, use your own discernment, and also be mindful of the fact that, like, if I'm telling you a story, like, you're gonna break up with someone, well, that can feed into that narrative, and I can inadvertently create a self-fulfilling prophecy for you, right? Like, if you're kind of feeling... not all Pisces are even in relationships, but, like, let's just say you were in a relationship and you were feeling like, I don't know, should I stay or should I go now? And you watch a tarot reading on YouTube to, like, get clarity, and then the tarot reader's like, yep, they suck. So there you go. And then, whether or not that is true or not, having that kind of, like, reaffirmed, having someone else say that, it, like, amplifies and strengthens the idea that, like, yes, this is bad, and so then you might act and behave in more ways that create that outcome. That's why I think, that's, like, kind of a weird prelude to your reading, but it's just, like, we got a lot of intense cards coming up. Like, we got endings, we got need, we got competition, right? And we got some reversals on some cards. So it's like, I want to, like, dive into your reading in such a way that we're not like predicting anything for you, but we're kind of giving you an opportunity to really focus on this Ten of Cups energy that is here for you. There's, like, in this receive, right? Like, I think we should start this. Normally, I kind of, like, do my readings where I go through, like, the journey to get to this, like, happy ending idea of the month. But here I kind of want to start with the happiness that wants to come into your life, the fulfillment that you're being asked to receive. Empress, receive, feminine energy. I listen to Jessa read sometimes, and she was just talking about manifesting, and this guy, Noah Lamper, does a podcast called Synchronicity, and his whole philosophy is that our imaginations create reality. So, like, before you fall asleep, when you're kind of in that hypnagogic dream state between, like, consciousness and sleep, subconscious, the brainwaves or whatever, like, to envision something that you want, and then it'll happen. And honestly, it's kind of worked for me. I manifested a cat that way. and I manifested a swan cloud. So there's something to, I don't really know how reality works, and no one does. But in terms of your reading and what I'm kind of like trying to like sift through to impart to you that is positive, I think that whatever is going to happen in December is ultimately about this energy, which is you receiving abundance and you receiving your happiness and you receiving contentment and joy and fulfillment, right? Ultimately, this is what this is going to be about. No matter how it's playing out, whether it's playing out in these perceived negatives or not, there's something that wants you to be really happy. And, okay, yeah, I'm feeling into your reading a little more. So when Jessa Reed was talking about Noah Lampert, she was saying like part of the reason why he's able to receive so much is because he does not have any blocks about his deservingness. Like he feels, and she kind of called it entitlement, which I would kind of agree with. Like, and I don't think either of those two listen to my tarot readings, so I guess I can throw shade at them and it doesn't matter because they won't hear it, because I'm obscure and no one listens to these, whatever. My point is that like she was talking about like he has like a feminine open channel because he doesn't have any blocks from like thinking like, oh, like I can have this, right? And that those subconscious blocks around can we have it stops things from coming in or creates all this resistance. So this is like ultimately the state that you're being asked to arrive at, is being open, being an open channel, to having really joy and fulfillment and contentment and interesting things that you dream of happening. Whew, yay. Okay, with the Two of Cups in reverse, I feel, and Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles in reverse, Six of Pentacles in reverse. All of these Nine of Cups in reverse. These kind of Knight of Swords in reverse. These reversals, to me, are speaking about a need to kind of get out of your own way, but also to really kind of go deep within to find out where those inner subconscious blocks are from allowing more in, right? Where are you squeezed off? Where, like, if you were like a hose, a garden hose, and all this stuff wants to come through your channel for you to receive so you can flow, where is that flow being constricted? Two of Cups in reverse, it's like love wants to come in, love wants to support you. Where does it not feel safe to be loved? Where does it not feel safe to feel supported? Where does it not feel safe to be in partnership? Where does it not feel safe to be in connection? Right? I've been dealing with this personally. I'm a Mars in Pisces, Pisces North Node. Those are my major Pisces placements. So, and it's like the dreams that we have, our resistance to believing in them. I'll kind of make this reading about me, but only just to use what I'm kind of contending with as an example that I think pertains to what this message is for you. I have these big dreams, and I'm working on them, right? Like, I'm working on putting action to my manifestations so that they can come in. But as I work on that approach, I'm realizing that I have a lot of self-doubt, a lot of insecurity, a lot of like, and I would say Five of Gems need these tears, these crying, this kind of feeling like this is usually Five of Pentacles, like being shut out in the cold, kind of feeling like, you know, like my own neediness is a detriment, my own needs are a liability, or that my needs will not be fulfilled. So, within all of that kind of mentality, especially around like anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, right? Six of Pentacles in reverse is, to me, giving and receiving, balance between the internal world and the external world. Six of Pentacles being in reverse, being like, I don't trust that my needs are going to actually be fulfilled, right? Like, I don't believe that I can receive. I don't believe that it'll happen for me. I don't, like, part of me is, has these dreams that will lead to the Ten of Cups, but while this is in reverse, it's like I'm blocking the natural progression from my dreams being kind of like making the manifestations to like making them come true, right? But like I'm blocked here. I'm blocked at the like belief that it can happen. I'm blocked at like the step where I'm willing to allow myself to receive, because in the past it hasn't been safe, probably, right? Like there's some, I think, past trauma that is really surfacing right now. And it doesn't mean that the trauma is actually happening, which is why I said at the beginning, I don't want to predict a breakup or anything, or I don't want to like color your view about how events are playing out in your life. What I really want to do is like kind of dig deeper into like what are the core energies at play that we're dealing with that we can heal and like kind of work through in a positive way. So I think that there is this kind of notion coming up in December of like, oh, like I don't think my life is going to work out in a way. I think it's a lot of like maybe trauma around love, but I think something else I've been kind of noticing is that love is so like the way we approach love and relationships kind of impacts a lot of our dynamics, like not even romantically, but like interpersonally, like in business and stuff too, whether or not we feel worthy and deserving of just whatever it is that our Ten of Cups is for us, right? Whatever the Nine of Cups leading to the Ten of Cups is, the dreams of kind of a happier life and our ability to feel like it's available to us, like that it will be given if we put in the work, right? But need to me feels like kind of this, and also we got the Four of Pentacles, so I'll talk about that, but like it feels like, especially competition, I feel like there's this sort of like surfacing of like, I feel like everything I do has to be a fight. I feel like I have to compete for everything that I receive. I feel like I have to like earn everything, and it always has to be hard. It's kind of like that lack mentality, right? Like it's a scarcity mindset, but I don't think that that is what is staying for you, because luckily this is in reverse. I think all of this shit, sorry if you care about bad words, I think all this is coming up for you because it wants to be witnessed and acknowledged and released and healed, right? Like I think this whole month, I would say for you Pisces, December, is like in terms of your channel, in terms of like your garden hose of your mind, in terms of your flow, I think December wants to pinpoint the areas where you are constricted, where there's kind of like some knots, so that you can just untie them. And then, because when you like, when a garden hose gets whatever scrunched, then the water doesn't come out. But if you just, like kind of make it smooth, if you just like open it up so the flow can happen, the flow happens. So that's what I'm getting with this Four of Pentacles in reverse too, is like, it's not to me saying, like, this isn't saying Six of Pentacles in reverse, you're not going to be fairly compensated for your work. I think it's more like internally, where do you have a belief that you will not be compensated for your work? And so you're operating from maybe old paradigms of feeling like, oh, I'm too needy. Maybe this is self-judgment. Like, oh, I'm needy in love, so no one's going to be able to fulfill how much love I need to feel in a relationship. No one's going to be able to fulfill my expectations. So I compete. I have to fight for everything that I do have. And I have to like, just sort of like, I think there's also an element of with the need, feeling like I'm out on my own, right? Like I can't, it's like, it feels maybe there's like it feels like impossible to receive, or unsafe to receive, or unreliable to receive. Like that we partly just don't believe in the manifestation being possible. But I'll tell you this, one of the things I tried to manifest was a cat. And I remember when I was like, I'm like, it'd be fun to have a cat. Because I have some friends who have cats. And the cats are very cuddly. And they're very funny. And I'm like, I have a dog. But I was like, my dog does not like to cuddle with me. So I was like, I want a cat. Because I want to cuddle with like a little creature. And I guess cats are cuddly. Like, that was my mindset. But then I was like, no, I live with my family. And I know my family would never allow such things. So like, that's never going to happen. And then one day in October, I don't really remember what happened, but I was kind of like in a open state of mind, like, right? Like somehow I kind of like opened my channel a little bit and I was like, I guess magic's real. I guess anything's possible. I don't know how it works, but I believe, I'll let myself believe a little bit more wildly and a little bit more loosely in my ability to live in a world with magic. And then like 2 or 3 days later, a cat came into my life from the street, and like she lives with us now, and it totally happened, right? And my family didn't even have any resistance to it at that time. So why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story just because I feel like December is essentially saying to you, Pisces, whatever stories you're telling yourself about why your dreams can't come true are just that. They're just stories. Knight of Swords in reverse, right? I think, to me, swords can be, what are the stories I'm telling myself? And with this knight, I feel like, and then we also got the page upright. So I feel like it's kind of taking, to me, these two cards in relation to this conversation are saying like, okay, look, yes, you have self-doubt. Yes, you have insecurities, because we all do. And yes, you know, things might have been tough. You might have felt like you have to compete for everything. But how can you really go deeper in letting go of this lack mentality? This like, I need to hold on to everything that I do have. I need to fight for everything that I have. There isn't an equal give and take. I have to like be really like, you know, careful about where I give my love or where I place my love, right? And it's just saying like, hey, maybe some of those old stories are old stories and they're stale and they're not really relevant. They're just you blocking yourself because it's fear, right? Where is like, it's actually maybe fear based on past stories, past events, past trauma that is blocking. Really, 10 of Cups, Empress, Receive, that's where you're getting all knotted up, is in projecting past fears, past trauma onto new situations. So I would say Knight of Swords is kind of like some of the old well-oiled machine stories you were telling yourself that aren't really relevant. And Page of Swords is kind of like writing a new draft, beginner's mind, right? It's like kind of starting over a little bit in a fresh, like looking at things a little freshly, right? Writing new stories. And maybe the new stories are rougher drafts, right? Like they're kind of like not like really ironed out, really well proven ideas, but they're kind of like hunches, or like just kind of like what I was saying about like one day I was like, oh, well, maybe magic can be real. And then all those stories I was telling myself about like why the cat wouldn't happen, it did happen. And then of course, once the cat's out of the bag, there's all these things about like, well, cats meow a lot and they need a lot of attention, and then like that's a whole other thing. But I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say in your reading, is that like any perceived negatives that you're dealing with right now, Pisces, please do not feed into worst case scenarios to the point that those worst case scenarios are just recycling old stuck patterns that you really use to keep yourself safe. Because we got the endings card, and I want to talk about that in relation to the Two of Pentacles and about your garden hose channel receiving to get this happiness. It's like, yeah, like what needs to end is not necessarily the relationship, you know, with Two of Cups or whatever. Or maybe, yes. But what really needs to end more than the like actual circumstance is just the mentality around how you approach life. This lack mentality, this like clinging on, because the fear I'm never really actually going to receive in return for my work, and my needs are not going to be met, and I have to fight for everything and compete for it, and my dreams just can't come true because there's all these reasons I've told myself, Knight of Swords, old stories about why that can't happen. And so I think Two of Pentacles is like, let's just bring this all into balance. Let's just kind of, it's like, I think it's like really a mindfulness practice, which is like, what are these stories, endings? Why am I telling myself these stories about why things can't work out, or why things are bad, or why things never work out for me, or why all my friends are succeeding and moving on without me? That's another big one, right? That, like, that's, I think, pertains to love too, right? Like, oh, everyone's going to abandon me, everyone's going to do really well, and I'm going to be a loser forever, and I'm going to lose everything that I did have, right? I just feel like with this endings card, what's really up for putting into balance is just how true is this shit, right? Like, really. And how much of it is just the cycle of what has inadvertently felt safe in a weird way to believe that things aren't possible. And I think that's like a huge thing. Like, why does receiving what I really want, my true happiness, where does that feel unsafe, and why? Or where am I just stuck in old ruts, old stories that I can end, endings, put them into balance, let myself believe in my dreams, my wishes, kind of move away from this old competition need mentality, letting myself believe that I can be compensated fairly for what I do, and that I don't need to hold on to the old beliefs, the old ways, the old, what I got is what I got, so I better, like, hang on to it at all costs, because I won't get more. So, like, if you, like, to bring it back to the Two of Cups, the energy I'm talking about, the kind of, like, lessons of December, let's say you're in a relationship and you're just not sure about it, right? So the way this could play out could be multiple ways. It could be, I do need to break up with this person, but I'm breaking up with them with a full heart of love, just knowing that it's run its course, with the full belief that I will receive in the future a better relationship that's meant for me. So this ending is within a mind-heart balance, because I know I'm making a right choice that's not based on lack mentality, but that's based on me really going for what I really want and believing in the dream of the kind of relationship I actually want. Or I'm in this relationship and I'm not sure about it, and I'm willing to open up a little bit more and end my fear that, like, if I express my needs in this relationship, they won't be met. And then, like, expressing them and finding maybe that my needs can be met in this relationship. And that all I needed to do was to end the old story about how I believed my partner would behave, and give them kind of the benefit of the doubt of, like, a new fresh start in terms of the approach that they did want to give and that you can receive. So for me, when you're listening to tarot reading, I am not telling you anything about how anything is going for you, right? I'm not telling you the specifics of how this energy plays out for you and what it means for you, or how you should interpret what the specifics are in your own life. That's, like, kind of your own journey that I'm sure you have absolute competence to figure out. I hope what you get out of this reading is kind of like just the acknowledgement and the understanding that whatever trauma or pain or, like, old wounds, old stories, old, like, stuckness, old fears around just where you feel constricted and held back and unable to, it really feels like it's totally about this receiving energy. Where you're blocked. Where are you blocked? Why are you blocked? What happened? What were those old stories that you kind of keep playing into? What were the old wounds around giving and receiving? It's wounds around giving and receiving, right? That's really what it is. And so it's like, the more you can kind of step up into fresh stories, allowing yourself to believe in them, getting mind, heart into balance, letting the balance happen by kind of ending and putting a stop, not to per se situations, but just to the way you approach situations, how you believe about situations, then the universe can kind of meet you finally, right? Two of Cups, this can get upright. You can be met. Whether in a literal romantic relationship or friends, like who you maybe felt like distant from, now you're finding like how much they really love you and how much you've meant to them, or finding that things have run their course, but it's okay because you know, like either way, no matter what is happening, the most important thing about this month is that you're confronting where you've been stuck, where you've been stagnant within yourself on your own like subconscious level, and how that has been contributing to what you're experiencing in the external world. Where you've really kind of been stopping yourself and getting in your own way unconsciously, and dissolving that, kind of looking at things with a fresh start, open mind. It's like really moving past fear so that good can come into your life. However that plays out. But it's like good is coming into your life, especially when you mindfully kind of sift through your own part in the dynamics that you're experiencing. Woo, I think that's good. That's enough. Yay, we did it. Okay, well, I love it for you, Pisces. It sounds very healing and restorative in such a way that I think when you begin 2021, since you've wrapped up all these loose ends in 2020 about these old stories, old wounds, old blocks, old constrictions, old places that you've been stuck from believing in your abundance, then 2021 can come and like bring it all in, really. So I love it. Yay. Okay, I'll see you again in 2021. Bye.